Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy Segment Show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the Grand Canyon Railway in Williams, Arizona. The Grand Canyon Railway is located on 233 North Grand Canyon Boulevard in Williams, Arizona, and trains operate every single day throughout the year, taking visitors to and from the national park. Lots of people depend on the train to the Grand Canyon every day. This also uses less air pollution from vehicles and prevents way too much traffic jams. Also, historic Route 66 also goes along through Williams, but stretches between Chicago and Los Angeles. In 1893, Bucky O'Neill, who was the sheriff of Yavapai County, mayor of Prescott, prospector, promoter, and later one of Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders, realized money could be made in the mines. He traveled east to gain the support and investment. O'Neill gained the support of Thomas Lombard from the investment firm of Lombard, Goody and Company in New York. Together they entered conversations with the Santa Fe Pacific Railroad to help gain the interest of the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad. He sent ore samples of gold saying he had mined and the samples from the Grand Canyon. In the same letter, however, O'Neill also recognized the potential for tourism, so he spoke to the natural beauty of the region and the canyon. O'Neill continued to talk with the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad through the years, seeking their investment. He also tried to get local investors, which he did, and in 1897 the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe and Grand Canyon Railroad Company was incorporated. Development of the tracks north from Williams began. O'Neill would not see its completion. He left to fight in the Spanish-American War behind Colonel Theodore Roosevelt, where he died in 1898. The railroad changed management and consolidated numerous times in the early years. In 1901, the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad chose to extend the line from Williams, Arizona to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. The tracks stretch 63.7 miles from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon National Park, and the Grand Canyon branch was born. The railroad would take people to and from the village from Williams just to see the Grand Canyon. The line goes past plateaus and through forests, flat deserts, past flatlands along the line. The train would then go through several forests, and then finally the train is at the final destination of the journey, the Grand Canyon National Park. In 1928, the town of Apex was founded by the Saginaw and Manistee Lumber Company, which was their home to mostly the Scandinavian lumberjacks and families till 1936. The camp also featured dorms for workers and family houses and a schoolhouse. The railroad spurs and maintenance buildings helped keep the company moving. Also, Mexican and Native American employees of the Grand Canyon Railway worked at the nearby Apex siding. Their children attended the Apex School, one of the few unsegregated schools in Arizona at the time. In 1968, the line could no longer carry passengers along the line. In 1974, this portion of the line between Williams and the National Park was closed down to freight traffic, and the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe abandoned the line. Then, in 1988, there was a plan to revive the line. Max Biegert and his wife Thelma came up with a plan to reopen the line. They soon had a plan to bring the trains back to the Grand Canyon, but restored the line as a tourist railroad, as the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad no longer ran passenger trains. to and from the village. In 1989, it all changed 21 years later, and the line would start to carrying passengers once again. Today, if you're planning to visit the Grand Canyon by train, the thing is, you must board the train from the depot in Williams, Arizona, as I mentioned, where the address of the depot is. The railroad takes folks to and from the Grand Canyon National Park most of the days throughout the year. Also, along the way, the passengers would be entertained by musicians going from car to car, or one section per car, depending on how many there are on each, for about a quarter of an hour each direction the train goes. On the way back, train robbers halt the train to get on board to rob passengers till they reach the end of the train. Then the marshal captures the bandits. But don't worry, they aren't actual train robbers. They are just dressed in costumes, and they do that like the old days. And the money they collect from passengers is like charity. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad continued service nearby the depot, and it wasn't long till 1995 the Burlington Northern and Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroads made an agreement to merge to become what is known as the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Also, the line that goes beside the depot, freight traffic mostly passes by above the tunnel that the train goes under, that the Burlington Northern Santa Fe goes over. We could even spot a freight train if ever the train meets up with a freight train, but during the nightfall, mostly Amtrak Southwest Chief passes over the line on the tracks that the Grand Canyon Railway goes under. The passenger train travels between Chicago, Illinois, and Los Angeles, California. Steam-powered locomotives owned by the railroad use recycled vegetable oil, and the vegetable oil is used from local restaurants that are used in fryers. When the veggie oil is recycled, it gets taken over to the Grand Canyon Railway shops, which is also seen along the line in Williams, and fills it into the steam engine's tender to use as fuel for the fire. When you smell it, it smells like hamburgers and even French fries. The water used in the steam engine's boiler is actually rainwater because when the rain comes down, it goes into some device to make it used for the steam engines to boil water as well. Also nearby the station in Williams, you'll find is a nearby hotel to stay at called the Grand Canyon Railway and Hotel as well. The canyon itself is about 6,000 feet long, and the average depth is 1 mile or 5,280 feet. In 1858, an American geologist named John Newberry arrived in the Grand Canyon, and he came on a surveying expedition for the U.S. government, and he was the first scientist to descend down to the canyon's floor and set eyes on the Colorado River that flows through, and studied layers of rock that towered above him, and he proposed that the river carved through the canyon. Today, the Grand Canyon is a national park and attracts visitors from around the globe as well. Also, it is the country's biggest canyon as well.